Welcome back to Nurs 238, Classification and Management of Mental Disorders. Section 6. We continue with the attention deficit and disruptive behaviors. This time we're going to look at conduct disorder. Conduct disorders are characterized by prolonged and persistent antisocial behavior in children and adolescents, which may lead to the violation of social norms and principles that significantly impair the individual's ability to function in social, academic, or occupational areas. This is the reading list, so I expect you to read and it will help you. At the end of the session, you are expected to define conduct disorder, explain what conduct disorder is, list the clinical features of conduct disorder, and manage a child suffering from conduct disorder. So conduct disorder is characterized by persistent antisocial behavior in children and adolescents that significantly impairs their ability to function in social, academic, or occupational areas. It occurs 3 times more often in boys than in girls. As many as 30 to 50% of these children are diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder as adults. The DSM-4 divides this disorder into 2 subtypes based on the age of onset. Childhood onset type. The childhood onset type involves symptoms before 10 years of age, including physical aggression towards others and disturbed peer relationships. These children are more likely to have persistent conduct disorder and to develop antisocial personality disorder as adults. The adolescent onset type. This is defined by no behaviors of conduct disorder until after 10 years of age. These adolescents are likely to be aggressive and they have more normal peer relationships. They are less likely to have persistent conduct disorder or antisocial personality disorder as adults. Conduct disorder can be classified as mild, moderate, or severe. Let's look at mild conduct disorder. The person has some conduct problems that cause relatively minor harm to others. Examples include lying, truancy, and staying out late without permission. Moderate conduct disorder. The number of conduct problems increases as does the amount of harm to others. Example, vandalism and theft. Then we have severe conduct disorder. The person has many conduct problems with considerable harm to others. Examples include forced sex, cruelty to animals, use of weapon, burglary, and robbery. The cause of conduct disorder is variable. People with the adolescent onset type or mild problems can achieve adequate social relationships and academic or occupational success as adults. Those with the childhood onset type or more severe problem behaviors are more likely to develop antisocial personality disorder as adults. What are the causes of conduct disorder? Predisposing, and we'll first look at biological influences. Studies with monozygotic and dizygotic twins, as well as with non-twin siblings, have revealed a significantly higher number of conduct disorders among those who have family members with the disorder. What it means is that conduct disorder runs in families. It is hereditary. Not much is known about the actual mechanism involved in genetic transmissions. Biochemical factors. Various studies have reported a possible correlation between elevated plasma levels of testosterone and aggressive behavior. Nurs and colleagues suggest that testosterone was increased in response to aversive, stressful, or physically strenuous events. Family influences. Examples include parental rejection, inconsistent management with harsh discipline, early institutional living, frequent shifting of parental figures, large family size, absence of father in the house, parents with antisocial personality disorder, example, alcohol dependence, marital conflict, inadequate communication patterns, and parental permissiveness. What are the cardinal symptoms of conduct disorder? There are 4. 1. Aggression to people and animals. 2. Destruction to property. 3. Deceitfulness and theft. And 4. Serious violation of rules. Let's look at the symptoms one after the other. So aggression to people and animal. So people who suffer from conduct disorder often bullies. They threaten or intimidate others. They often initiate physical fights, has used a weapon that can cause serious physical harm to others. Example, a bat, a brick, broken bottles, knives, guns, etc. Has been physically cruel to animals, has been physically cruel to people, has stolen while confronting a victim, has forced someone into sexual activity. Serious violation rules. The symptoms here includes often stays out at night despite parental prohibitions, and this begins before the age of 13 years. Has run away from home overnight at least twice while living in parental or parental surrogate home, or without returning for a lengthy period. Is often torn from school beginning before age 13 years. Destructive to property. Has deliberately engaged in fire setting with the intention of causing serious damage, and has deliberately destroyed others' property other than fire setting. Deceitfulness or theft. Has broken into someone else's house, to someone else's building or car. Often lies to obtain goods or favors or to avoid obligations. Has stolen items of non-trivial value without confronting a victim. Example, shoplifting, but without breaking and entering. How do we nurse individuals suffering from conduct disorder? We're going to use the care plans. So if they have the problem of violence, then the nurse must observe the client's behavior frequently through routine activities and interactions. Become aware of behaviors that indicate a rise in agitation. Recognition of behaviors that precede the onset of aggression may provide the opportunity to intervene before violence occurs. Redirect violent behavior with physical outlets for suppressed anger and frustration. Excess energy is released through physical activities, inducing a feeling of relaxation. Encourage the client to express anger and act as a role model for appropriate expression of anger. Discussion of situations that create anger may lead to more effective ways of dealing with them. Ensure that a sufficient number of staff are available to indicate a show of strength if necessary. This conveys an evidence of control of physical security for staff. Administer a tranquilizing medication if ordered, or use isolation room only if situation cannot be controlled with less restrictive means. It is the client's right to expect the use of techniques that ensure safety of the client and others by the least restrictive means. Client not able to interact with peers or staff, or he has a problem of interaction. What the nurse has to do here is to develop a trusting relationship with the client, convey acceptance of the person separate from the unacceptable behavior. Unconditional acceptance increases feelings of self-worth. Discuss with client whose behaviors are and are not acceptable. Describe in matter-of-fact manner the consequence of unacceptable behavior. Negative reinforcement can alter undesirable behaviors. If the child has a problem of self-esteem, the nurse must ensure that goals are realistic. Unrealistic goals set client up for failure, which diminishes self-esteem. Plan activities that provide opportunities for success. Success enhances self-esteem. Convey unconditional acceptance and positive regard. Communication of client as worthwhile human being may increase self-esteem. Set limits on manipulative behavior. Take action not to reinforce manipulative behaviors by providing desired attention. Identify the consequence of manipulation. Administer consequences may work to decrease unacceptable behaviors. Help client to understand that he or she uses his behavior in order to try to increase own self-esteem. Interventions should reflect other actions to accomplish this goal. When client feels better about self, the need to manipulate others will diminish. Cultural considerations. Concerns have been raised that difficult children may be mistakenly labeled as having conduct disorder. Knowing the client's history and circumstances is essential for accurate diagnosis. In high crime areas, aggressive behavior may be protective and not necessarily indicative of conduct disorder. Immigrants from war-ravaged countries, aggressive behavior may have been necessary for survival, so they should not be diagnosed as conduct disorder. So we have come to the end of attention deficit and disruptive behavior. We have looked at attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and conduct disorder. Those are your references, and I expect you to read more and to know more. Thank you.